So you guys have seen it on my Instagram. I posted it last night, and this is the review video for it. This is Rescue 7. This may be one of my more custom rigs that I have built. I've been trying to just kind of experiment with adding detail to these trucks. So a lot of this decaling here is kind of going to get altered and whatnot, but the truck together is pretty much how it is. So what I did was I repurposed the Chevy ambulances as I'm purchasing transit vans to go ahead and make ambulances with. So I kind of been looking around, and I wanted to do these Type 1 built on pickup truck chassis. I wanted to do a couple crew cabs, so I did this one, and the first one I did was Pediatric 1, which it didn't come out bad, but this was a trial to build this truck. This was the original Dive 6. I ended up using it, and I built it specifically as a trial, or test trial, and it, came out okay, but there's a lot of flaws on it, which I'll go through this one in a minute. Actually, I'll go through this one first, and I'll show you guys Rescue 7. So, what I did was I cut on the bottoms of these trucks, I cut the chassis for the truck. So, you took off the mechanic body, cut the chassis right behind the cab, took off the body, and cut the chassis right in front of the medic body, and then glued them together. So, a couple of challenges I went through with this truck was I reused the rear tires from the van and the front tires from the Erdl truck, but I painted them black so they all match. The second thing that I did was on these trucks, the rocker panel for the truck body should actually be up a lot higher than the bottom of the rocker panel for the cab, and I didn't realize that until I looked at a picture of it. So now it has this look of that the truck is really loaded down and weighed down in the back. Kind of looks like it's doing a California stance. So here's the front of the truck. Not much has changed. I did some really horrible yellow striping down it, and I got fingerprints all here. And when I went to set the cab, I set it wrong, so I had to redo it. So it's all kind of messed up here, and it kind of, I don't know. It's not really the best thing in the world. It looks cool, but it's definitely not my best build. So this was a trial and error, because I've been trying to do a Type 1 pickup F3, F450 style quad cab truck with a ambulance chassis for a while, and I've seen a lot of guys doing them with the green lights, and I had a green light ambulance body I tried it with, and it just didn't work out. So I decided that these Hallmark ambulances cut in half actually work pretty good. So this is the original truck here I did it with. And I mean, yeah, it's probably better than what a lot of people can do. But for, what I like and how I pay attention to detail, this came out really, really, really bad. So, now we have Rescue 7. Rescue 7 is the finished version of the failed trial of Pediatric 1. So, as you guys can see, one of the first things I did was I fit it so that the body is actually lower, on the medic body is actually lower than the cab on a pickup, giving it this level stance. The next thing I did was I took the ambulance body off and the back wheels off, and I actually used the Erdl back wheels, which I had to re-drill out this channel that the axle went through so that it would take that Erdl wheel. Okay, so same thing I did on Pediatric 1. Cut both, and then I shaved them down to make sure they were good, and then I just kind of came here and I held it to make sure it looked leveled, and then applied some glue, leveled it, and then stuck it together, and that's how you get this truck. It's actually really well put together. I took the ambulance mirrors from the Chevy ambulances and put them on here too, which these Erdl trucks don't have mirrors, so it's got some wide mirrors on it now. Everything on the front end, the headlight, the emergency lights, and this antenna were originally from the original Rescue 7. I added 7 on the roof. I threw on a raft on the top because Rescue 7 was kind of a water rescue truck, so I threw the raft up top. So what this is a water rescue truck with patient transport capabilities. And come to the back, it's still the same, still have your boat and whatnot. And one of the big features that I did because I was bored was I had some tube styrene, so I actually just cut it and made myself a tailpipe, and it looks pretty good. So it comes out right there. A lot of times when they build ambulance bodies, where the original tailpipe is going to dump out on the pickup, it's up too high or it's in the way of the body or whatever, so they'll actually repipe it. So I repiped it right here on the driver's side, because if I did it in the same spot on the passenger side here, it would have been underneath the door, which I actually glued it on here and realized it was under the door, so I popped it off. You still have your tailpipe here from the actual ambulance, but it doesn't really protrude and you can't really notice it. So I wanted to put something that was a little bit more noticeable, so I went ahead and did that as well. So yeah, and this truck actually came out really good. I was going to do rocker panels on it, but I didn't really like the way it looked with rocker panels, so I decided not to use it. But yeah, so there is Rescue 7, and like I said, this is probably one of the most, one of the more detailed trucks. One of the other most detailed trucks that I did, you guys will remember this from a while ago, and it was Brush 8. And I built the body, cut stuff, built the cage and everything on there in the bumper. So this is one of the other more custom-built trucks in the fleet. There's a bunch of other ones that I've done too, but I've really found my niche building on these one-ton truck bodies. Obviously, I did this Dodge Brush 7 a while back. This one came out pretty good too. So yeah, I've kind of found my niche with these trucks. I may eventually, if I can find a white Dodge Ram chassis, may build one of these on a Ram, but for right now, I'm just kind of doing the Ford. So, alright guys, well, I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, as well as follow me on Instagram at Greenlight Fire Station 7. I'll see you guys later.